Time for Twins Pod. Yeah. So we saw you in whatever podcast.
Oh, are we going? Did you watch the whole thing?
Yeah. I watched brief. I watched brief segments.
Biggest waste of 7 hours of your life. I wish I could go back in time and kill myself before I went on.
Well, what was the experience like?
Okay. I mean this in all seriousness, okay? I was in an abusive relationship in my 20s for 3 years. So not
Me
just...
too.
Not... Really?
Yeah, that bitch used to whip my ass.
It's not your current wife,
That's why I don't date black chicks. God, dude.
Is this your wife right now? Because she's
she's
definitely
Latina.
divorced.
She's Latina. It was a black bitch.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Look at him. He's like getting angry just thinking about it right now.
Actually, our first wives were black. And I was like, I'll never do that again.
Oh my God.
No,
you guys, you went race again. I just got to sit here.
I was like 18, 19.
Yeah.
First marriage. We was at the DMV, right? And she had a problem like hitting me. And I said something was at the DMV in front of the lady helping us. And when she did like this, I did like this.
Oh.
Right? And then I brought my hands down and the woman has looked at me like,
are you okay?
You are such a bitch. the look she had on her face.
She was like disgusted at you, huh?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
You call yourself a man. Was she like, blink twice if you need help?
I was so embarrassed and I was like, you know what?
Did you say, don't hit me, mama?
I did that. I mean, to come with it, man. That was rough. Yeah, but let's stop talking about your brother getting abused and shit.
Yeah.
I was like, Keith, man, you gonna wake up one night with a damn knife in your chest. Let's get back to her. Yeah. Sorry.
Back to me, please. Thank you. So emotional, verbal, and like physical. So like all the abuse, you know,
Was
name
any
calling,
drugs involved or
gaslighting.
anything, or?
No, he was just a jerk, you know,
Yeah.
big jerk. And I would say that like the behavior of the men on that podcast is what I experienced in the beginning stages of my abusive relationship. So
That's how shit starts.
gaslighting, name calling, the idea that like if you speak, everything you say is wrong. Everything you do is wrong. You know, like Brian was going nuts on everybody for interrupting everybody. And then Andrew Wilson, of course, comes in and interrupts me. And I just go, hey, you know, like, I thought there was a rule. And he's like, well, now you're interrupting me by interrupting. I'm like, wait, so now I'm in trouble for wanting to, like, have there be the rules that you enforced?
Right.
So I should just, it makes you be like, so I guess I should just shut up.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
I think that they didn't realize that we were conservative, Kendall and I. We came on there and, you know, we thought we'd be on the side with the guys talking to these women that have OnlyFans and encouraging them to stop that lifestyle.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm really thankful that we weren't, because now I don't want to be on those guys' side. Like, I don't want to be the chick that's looking at these women, calling them sluts and like getting clicks from them and money from them. And that's really what Brian does.
Right.
He uses his podcast. He preys on vulnerable girls and he gets them in there so that he can make money trashing them.
Right. Yeah.
It's horrible. It's a horrible form of abuse.
Men like to watch that stuff.
They do, and they pay. They pay to like make negative comments, and there was some very, very few things that I actually agreed with them on.
Yeah.
But it's like even when you agreed with them, you got yelled at. I'm like, hold on, I'm actually on your side, but you're still yelling at me.
Right.
But
Must have been so uncomfortable.
It was very uncomfortable. That's an understatement. Like I woke up feeling like I just got, you know, emotionally abused. And I'm a tough chick now. Like I survived the 3-year physical abuse. I can survive these beta males attacking me for 7 hours straight. But there was tactics there. Like they invite you in, they make you take your shoes off. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
So that you don't make noise. But they're wearing shoes. They have the room really, really hot. But Brian is wearing ice packs the whole time. So he stays cool. You can't eat. They have a bowl of stale chips for you to eat. Remember, we were there for 7 hours. And you can get up to get water, but when you get up, they're like, sit down. Like, they yell at you for everything. You can go back and watch. I shared quite a few viral clips of, like, the amount of times, and I'm going to swear. I don't usually swear, but that Brian would just say, dude, why don't you shut the fuck up and let me run my podcast? Shut the fuck up. Stop fucking interrupting.
So the whole environment is toxic.
Oh my gosh, it's so toxic. And what's sad is like what they're allegedly trying to do is bring back kind of like the traditional family.
Yeah. But they're going the wrong way about.
But like no chick wants to marry those guys now. Like no one. I'm like, oh, so I could be in a cage and my like
get
sit down and
all
shut up
day.
and be quiet and cook you dinner and it better be right. Like, oh my gosh. So they're ruining what could be like a beautiful patriarchy, right? Back in the day when men were strong and they weren't women. And they provided and they protected and they cooked and women had a role in the home as like the nurturer of the children.
Right.
If we want to bring that back, I think that's beautiful. I'm not saying it's ever going to come back full force. And I'm certainly not a feminist or an anti-feminist, but they're going so extreme that it's like women better not sleep around or they are trash for the rest of their life.
Right.
But I'll decide if you're worthy of marrying. Like it's just, I could go on and on and on.
Yeah,
and
that's the side of conservatism I do not like.
The red pill movement. That's what they call it. And
that's definitely not a red pill. That's a damn blue pill.
A black and blue pill.
You're going to make women vote blue.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because women do not. We don't want to be married to men like that. That's why Brian is single. I mean, hello, he's single, doing a dating podcast. There's a reason you're not dating.
Yeah, which one is Brian?
The host. The one who always wears the flannel. And he's got ice packs shoved down him. Yeah.
Hey, do you got a clip?
You guys, I got to tell you about Andrew. Do you know about Andrew?
Yeah. Andrew's got that he's got a nice voice.
do you know his past? No. Oh, it's juicy. You want me to tell it now?
Hold on to it.
Okay. Yeah. It's good. So good. The key word for this podcast is juicy.
You like that word, juicy, huh?
I do. You'd have to scroll back quite a bit. But actually, yeah, if you shared some of my 90-second, that would be good.
Okay.
Where we're basically showcasing what jerks they are.
When I was watching that podcast, that's the impression I got from them. I said, these guys are jerks. Yeah. I understand we should have roles in a relationship, but I don't think men should be like looking down at women as like servants.
Right.
I've never been a fan of that.
So like Andrew believes that women should vote for who their husband tells them to vote for. Like that's how that's the level of submissiveness that he's at. Where where I'm like, submissive means that your husband is a godly man and you trust him with the decisions in the house. Not like, I was thinking of making spaghetti tonight. And he's like, you'll make lasagna, bitch. Like, that's not submissive. That's abuse, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And I don't throw the word abuse around lightly. I'm not like a little, everything's abuse. I'm like, there's a difference between like legit submission because you're a good man and I trust you and you control me. I'm submissive because you control me. And Andrew and Brian, they're controllers.
Yeah, I think I saw a clip like they downplay like how tough it is to raise kids, and like the guys at work and the moms at home, they don't understand the psychological toll that it takes on women.
Right.
Yeah. And they don't understand that. And like my wife does a great job in that. And it's like, personally, I don't know if it's because I'm a male or if I'm just a horrible father. I don't want to have to deal with that because I got to take care of work.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I can't really, I can do the two, but when I try to do it with my son and my kids, it's like, I'm like not as nurturing as their mom.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not good at it.
Yeah. Oh, that's our natural gender roles. Imagine that. Yeah.
Right.
It's probably because you're a black male, you know. Genetic.
She's talking. You guys were specifically instructed before the show, no fucking sidebar conversations. If somebody's talking, don't have a sidebar conversation. Don't be fucking talking
and then
when
watch
she's
them
talking.
do sidebar.
But I get what you're saying. When I went to college, I went to college to get a degree, but I also went to college to find my husband. I was looking for a man. Are you for real?
Why is he getting scolded for side conversation?
Right.
What?
Look,
Like,
what? Gets yelled at
Right.
for side conversations, but she was talking
would love
about
to
the side
continue
conversation.
hearing that.
Directing out of the side.
Exactly.
Watch this.
My point was, were you with
Allow
you in the
me.
sex?
Look.
Now he's
Your
interrupting her
interruption is now
to yell at
greater than
me.
his
Right.
minor sidebar because you've just totally interrupted the entire thing. Let me host.
Right?
Stop right now.
Isn't that insane?
Yeah.
When I watch it, I'm like, that's insane. How do you even come up with that kind of gaslighting that quick unless it's natural? Hold on. He interrupted, but you're interrupting by telling me he interrupted.
But
you're the one to blame.
That's where a lot of conservative men go wrong. They're actually telling themselves they're projecting. They think less of women than they do of themselves.
They do.
So they don't see you as equal.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because Andrew Wilson was really a major problem on that show. Major problem. He's claims to have like a trad wife and a trad family and all this stuff. And he went on and on and on about how women have babies and then, when the babies go to school, they just lay around and get pedicures and da-da-da-da-da. And like we live the high life, right? But I'm like, but I bet you if that same woman was like, hey, I'm going to go get a job because I got nothing else to do, he'd be like, you're not working. You stay home and rub my feet. And it's like, which is it, bro? But he claims
they hold that against you.
Yeah, it's very conflicting. He claims to be all about the trad wife, but let me get this straight. He dated his now wife, got another woman pregnant while they were dating.
Really?
Married that chick, divorced her, got back with his wife, who has 2 kids with another dude, and then she had 2 more kids with him. Is that trad to you?
He's a nigga to me.
Is that trad? So
he sounds hood to me.
Yeah. They're claiming to be this like...
He need to change his name to Day-Day. And get gold teeth in his mouth and start thanking his pants.
So that's who we're taking apparently dating and marital advice from.
Yeah.
A guy that literally has knocked up multiple women.
That's weird.
And is married to a woman who's been knocked up by multiple men.
Maybe,
he had a restraining order against his wife during the breakup.
That sounds like
she's
Jerry
crazy.
Springer
Just
shit.
kidding, I'm going to marry her. Yeah.
This sounds like Jerry Springer.
Yeah.
Like having people on my podcast, I would never talk to them like that. Yeah.
I know. And that's why I came on you guys, because I knew you'd be nice. I didn't know you'd talk about your wiener size, but...
I'm still a man.
That's a manly man. That's a traditional man. I gotta talk about my wiener size at least once, or I'm not a man.
Yeah, hey, we got another clip. I want to see.
Oh, you want? There's we got a couple good ones. But yeah. So and then Andrew Wilson went on to go on like other shows and just totally trash talk me.
I saw that,
and I was like, whatever, dude. You don't hold any ground. Like, I had an abortion in my 20s, and it's one of the things that I speak out about, and about how it damaged me, and I regret it, and God's forgiven me, and like, this is why I don't want women to have abortions.
Right.
I killed my own child. I admit that, and it breaks my heart. He went on into other shows and was like, oh, coming from a woman, it's a murderer. And I'm like, really, bro? Like, I'm using my testimony for a witness.
Right.
You're using your life to like condemn other people.
Shame people.
Yeah, and hurt other women. Yeah. Like the women around that table all left there feeling abused. I actually reached out to them afterwards and I was like, how can I minister to you? Like these 2 girls that were in a relationship, how can I pray with you? How can I? And we made a real impact. And I'm like, women should not go on this show. They're going to leave more damaged than they came.
And it's counterproductive. If they're really conservative men, you're manufacturing, females that want to vote blue.
Yep. If you're claiming to be conservative and that's the label you're putting on yourself, and women see that, they're like, I don't want any part of that.
Yeah.
None.
Then you were forced into an shmortion.
What do you mean forced?
Manipulated would be a better word. And I'm not a wuss. I'm not like, he emotionally abused me. He was literally emotionally abusing me, gaslighting. So he was a good Christian man in the church.
What does that mean? He was a good Christian man in the church.
That triggered
Crazy
him.
life. I was actually still attending church while I was a drug addict because my relationship.
But you're off the drugs. You're not stripping anymore.
Yeah.
You go to church. You meet this guy.
Yep. Just let it dissect. Just digest.
Yeah, I'm digesting it. It just sounds a little predatory on your end, just a bit. So,
and the life that I'm living will not get me to that situation.
When you're in the club, you're doing the dancing. Did you do the thing that a lot of them do with the Johns in the back?
No.
Never?
Think you were gonna say Why is that relevant, right?
Yeah,
like,
right.
Are you
It's
a
just trying to
prostitute?
shame you.
Yeah.
He's poking
I
at
saw
you.
a lot of that happening, right?
Actually didn't.
Okay, so then you did the deed, right?
Yeah, I basically fought him as long as I could, and then he scheduled an abortion for me.
How long was that
birthday.
that you fought him?
I think 8 weeks.
Kind of sounds a little bit to me like you're shifting blame away from yourself with the language of like manipulation.
I take full responsibility for the choice that I made to be able to be manipulated and to not fight back.
Yeah, I don't know what that means though. Like if when you say I fought back as hard as I can.
Lindsey Graham, then you were forced into an
and of course that's the edited version, right? So like everything in between, but Andrew believes that if you are a female that has done anything in your past, like slept with a guy that's not your husband, done drugs, partied,
right?
Like you are beyond reproach. And if you go to church and you give your life to the Lord, you're not worthy of a good man. You're preying on the men in the church.
Right.
That's what he believes. So like my whole message is my life is a show of like how powerful the Lord is, how redeeming he is, how I was a stripper, drug addict, had an abortion, and God still restored me and forgave me.
Right.
That's how good he is. You're contradicting that by saying, I will always be a piece of crap and I am not worthy of a good husband.
Right.
Like, how damaging is that to women?
Does he have a wife or anything?
Yeah, the trad wife that has 4 different kids.
Oh, just the one?
Just the one. Just that one that he cheated on and got a restraining order against and then married. Yeah.
Yeah.
That one. And she's a traditional wife spokesperson too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just got a subservient woman.
Yeah. Well, yeah. She messaged me. So she took on after we came out with all this, and I said, these guys are dangerous to the movement.
Yeah.
Avoid them at all costs.
They make conservatives look very bad.
Very bad. I had nothing to do with her. I just was like, these guys are horrible. She came out and was like, this chick's a slut. She was a stripper, blah, blah, blah. She's coming after my husband. Like she beefed up and like came to her husband's defense, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
And then I continued to not really say anything about her. I'm like, I wasn't even talking about you. I don't even know you. I've never met you. I know who you are because I was that woman. I know that you're abused. I know it. And she sent me a nasty message on Twitter. Go crawl back under the rock that you came out of and leave our family alone. And I was like, who are you? Like, I never mentioned your name has never been in my mouth. Go away. I never came. You came for me, boo.
Got our new giveaway. You asked for it, we got it. Man, this is a 69 Chevy Camaro. We give away American muscle here. This is actually a race car, standard, 6-speed, Yanko version. Did you tell him it had a 540 big block in it? It's got over 700 horsepower in now. Did you hear that? This car got over 700 horses. That's crazy. How did they get 700 horses up under the hood? That's that white American engineering right there. That's what founded this country. Go to officialhodgetwins.com. Anything you buy from the site, get you automatic. And it'll win. Yeah.